Humans, it's good to see your face again. I can see you get freaked out. Okay, seriously though, we're gonna do some math. Percent proportion. Some people might say, use the percent equation, but a proportion is an equation, so we're gonna use the percent proportion. And good thing we know that any percent is out of 100. And that could be equivalent to some part. A percentage is just a part of a greater whole. In the percentage world, we make that equivalent to 100%, all of something. But if you just have a part of the whole, it's okay. You can actually find out what percent that would be. Or if you're missing any one of these ideas, if you're missing the part, you want to know how much of a given whole a certain percent is, you can find that out. So let's do some examples. Let's see. This first example, obvious. What's 50% of 120? Now, if you say 60, congratulations, you're right. But if you had a number here that you didn't really know how to take 50% or 53%, do you know what 53% of 120 is? No. So let's pretend we don't know what 50% of 120 is. If we don't, and if we do, this is how you can approach it. What is 50%? Well, you know you're talking about 50 out of 100%, and you're talking about 50% of some number. You don't know what part of that number 50% is, but you know it is a part of that number. It's not the whole thing. And again, that's coming back to our percent proportion. Percent over 100 is the same as part over whole. In this problem, we're given the percentage. We're given what the whole is. We're interested in finding out what 50% of the whole would be. So we're going to find out what's in red. When you solve a proportion, you can cross multiply. 50 times 120. I know what 5 times 12 is. It's 60 with a couple of zeros. And that should be equal to the other cross product. X times 100 is 100x. And you can divide 100 to figure out what x is. Divide the zeros. Each time you're dividing by 10. And you've got 60 is equal to x. And we knew that. Easy stuff. Here we go. Plus 1. What percent of 8 is 2? Now, again, you might know this answer right away, but if you didn't know, we need to prepare for that. So let's take our percent proportion right away. Percent over 100 is the same as part over whole. In this case, the question's asking for the percent, so you don't know what it is. That's what we're missing. What percent of 100 is 2? 2 is out of the 8. What percent of 8 of, you can read this bar as of, what percent of 8 is 2? So we have it set it up properly. You can cross multiply here. 8 times x should be the same as 2 multiplying 100. 8x equals 200. And you divide by 8 on both sides. And you can see that x is equal to 25. And this is talking about a percentage, 25%. Sweet. Let's keep going. And for my last trick, we've got 20 is 10% of what number? So I'm going to return to my old faithful friend, the percent proportion. We've got some percent over 100 is the same as part over whole. In this case, we have 20 is 10%. So I know what the percent is, 10, because it tells me in the question. You've got 10% of what number? Of
some number. 20 is 10%. So 20, look how it matches up with the 10%. 20 is the 10%, which is on top. 20 is 10% of some number x. So there we go. We've got our proportion set up. Cross multiply will get you the answer. Set those cross products equal to one another, and you can see that 2,000 is the same as 10x. Divide 10, and how about 200 is the number that you were looking for. Pretty easy stuff when you get going. Have fun with your homework. Have fun with your life. I'll see you when you're older.